Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. The following video will contain spoilers from the Legends of Tomorrow episode titled Star City 2046. So spoiler alert, if you don't want anything spoiled or ruined for you, stop watching now. Hey guys, Dave here. And today is Friday the 26th, my birthday. And thank you. I appreciate the happy birthdays. Yes, I really do. And I'm going to do a two for today. One video I'm doing is going to be my review of last night's episode of LOT, and the other I'll be doing another theory video about Zoom, so keep an eye out for that. Alright, what do I think here? Okay, as we last left off, the Legends crash landed, thanks to Kronos, into Star City 2046. The city was on fire, it was looking all Mad Max-ish, and a black-skinned Green Arrow was trying to attack them. Eventually they managed to get away from him. Of course, Mick Rory, Heatwave, is loving this. And he wants to stay. He's loving the crap out of this thing. They get back to the ship. They find out that one of the main interfaces for Gideon and the ship is damaged. Quantum interface. I had to look at it again if I wanted to get the exact name of it. And the only place that might have technology like that would be the now Smoke Industries. So they're going to go on a little field trip mission with Captain Cold, Mick Rory, Heatwave, Rip Hunter, and White Canary, because she knows the city better than anyone, to go and try to get the piece they needed, while the rest of the crew would be on board trying to repair the other parts of the ship that were damaged. Now, I know that it was very important for the plot and everything, especially when you start eventually seeing what happens here, but I got to make a very good point. Back in Season 1 of The Flash, there was a deleted scene in one of the last episodes where Ronnie Raymond had revealed that, besides flying and shooting out nuclear fire, that they'd actually figured out how to do one of Firestorm's greatest powers, which is transmutation. It's not just turning gold into lead and stuff like that. No, he can actually take inorganic matter, zap it, and transform it from one form to another. In the cartoons, he's did things like turn a getaway car for bad guys into a bathtub or stuff like that. In the show, in the deleted clip, I think he transformed a clipboard or a stethoscope, something like that, into a plastic flower because he can't change organics. And it occurs to me that they have deleted this, they've hinted at it, they even look at the way Jax's costume is. They don't use the quantum splicer anymore, but somehow when Stein and Jax merges, there it is, right there, and the costume changes as well. So that's already being transmuted. They're hinting at it, they're suggesting it, but they're not actually saying he can actually transmute other objects yet. What is going on? Look, you guys gave the Atom, you went from a size-changing belt with controls in the palms to a full armored suit. You increased the power of the Atom, but you're nerfing Firestorm by not giving him transmutation. I'm just saying, if he could transmute stuff, he could have repaired it with a zap. It would have been that easy. And Legend of Tomorrow writers, seriously, I understand why you're holding back on certain things so they can actually advance the plot, but stop nerfing Firestorm in the future. Give him his full array of powers, because here's the thing. If you can't handle Firestorm transforming one object into another, then there is no way in hell that you will ever be able to handle something like Green Lantern making constructs on the small screen. And that's my opinion. That's my honest opinion. But anyway, off the soapbox, hashtag stop nerfing Firestorm. Anyway, while this is going on, Jax is starting to admit that he has some interesting feelings towards Kendra. And it looks like Ray Palmer's trying to, have a little chemistry while they're doing repairing too. So it's kind of cute. But Jax and Professor Stein start to work their own little magic to try to help encourage what's going on there. So that was kind of an interesting little play off there. Meanwhile, Rip and Sarah get separated from Captain Cold and Heatwave during another fight where there's a gang that comes out, and Green Arrow is doing what he can to take care of things. It looks like Arrow gets hurt, Sarah goes running after him, Rip goes chasing her, and Cold and Heat decide to go take off to try to hit a bank. Meanwhile, they end up getting stopped by a gang. There's a bit of a power struggle. Heatwave won, and now he's pretty much taken the spot as the head of the gang, and he's loving it. This is everything he's ever wanted. He's going to question Captain Cold because, look, when we started this, you said we were going to get the biggest scores. We haven't stolen anything. This is our kind of place. And Cold's trying to shake him up a little bit to try to get him back on track. Not an easy thing to do. Regardless, we end up finding out more about this mysterious guy, that Oliver Queen supposedly had died when the uprising had happened, and that this new Deathstroke is actually Grant Wilson, the son of Slade Wilson. Interesting touch. So we got the Ravager coming back, essentially. They managed to get away from Deathstroke's gang, and they managed to go to the old lair where they're trying to find this equipment, and they find instead an old and one-armed Oliver Queen. Looks like he modified the Atom armor tech to have a prosthetic arm, but he had to put it down. He had pretty much just felt like he'd given up. He's not doing anything anymore, and he eventually points the crew in the right direction, but he also lets slip that in this timeline, the Legends never returned to 2016. And because they weren't there in this It's a Wonderful Life kind of what-if scenario, that's how Grant was able to take over. If they had been there, they could have stemmed the tide. So Rip's trying to convince Sarah, look, this is a possible future. It doesn't have to be real, and we can get you back to take care of it. But Sarah's definitely showing some heart here, and I'm digging that. Meanwhile, Mick Rory is still just trying to get his grip on things, but here comes Deathstroke to pretty much take his gang away and say, hey, look, it may be your gang, but this is my city. And they fall in line with Deathstroke. And I can see that the strain is going on in Cold. He's doing everything he can to push Mick's buttons, but it's still not quite working. Eventually, when the gang is going after Green Arrow and the others, finally, Cold and Heat show up as very good cavalry, but by that point, the Green Arrow was gone. Mick's wanting to stay. He's not wanting to do anything. He doesn't care about Savage anymore. He wants to stay here this time. And Snart knocks him out cold, which, I swear, puns are in my DNA. I say them, and I don't realize what I say until after I say it. But anyway, so they get them back to the ship, along with the quantum piece of technology to repair Gideon. We're finding out that Kendra's starting to remember more about her past, including being Rosie the Riveter back in the day, so that's kind of cool. But meanwhile, while everything's going on, Stein, in trying to get Ray off of the romantic trail, actually jump-starts it. Great guy there. But eventually we start to see that play out where Kendra, although she's appreciative, so many things have happened. She's just trying to get her feet on the ground, as it were. Because she went from 0 to 100, basically, and having a relationship like that would be more complicated than she's really ready for, which, Ray backs off, Jack's over here, so he kind of backs off, but, Ray and Jax are now thinking, yeah, well, we'll give her some space, but, technically, if it were to come down to it, I'd win. Oh, I'd win. Whatever. It's cute, a little personal there, so it's all right. Eventually, though, when we get to Connor, which we find out is John Diggle Jr., I told you there would be spoilers. And he doesn't feel like he deserves the name John Diggle, so he chose the name Connor Hawk. Where did he get the name Connor Hawk from? I don't understand this. I really don't. Connor Hawk is supposed to be the name of Green Arrow's Oliver Queen's son. Where'd the name come from? I don't know. It's clear that the writers, although they're doing a lot of things to be loyal to the material, they're also playing fast and loose with certain things, so it's cool as long as it tries to make a modicum of sense. So anyway, they've got Connor. It looks like Deathstroke's going to behead him. Here comes Sarah, and we've got Ollie suited back up with his new robotic arm, and it's kind of cool to see him rocking his thing there, And here's a funny thing. On Twitter, Stephen Amell had a picture of the old version of Oliver, and he said, yeah, you guys get to see what Oliver would look like if he lasted as long as Supernatural's been on the air. At which point, I have to tweet him and say, Carry on, my archer son. There'll be peace when Deathstroke's done. Lay your enemies to rest. Don't you fail no more. I'm goofy. You know this by now. Anyway. So it's kind of cool to see older Ollie still kicking much backside. Rip's given Sarah more time than just 1 hour to try to get back. Otherwise, he said, look, I'm leaving without you if you don't show up. Eventually, not only did they give him more time, but actually, here comes the cavalry and the rest of the crew managed to blast them away. Deathstroke gets taken down by both Ollie and Connor, and we have a very cool moment for the future. It looks like from that point on, Sarah does promise to try to go back eventually to fix things, but at that point in time, we've got Connor and Oliver back in the game for Green Arrow to try to start cleaning up the city, so that's going to be cool. So, they get back in there. Mick finally wakes up, and he's in a prison cell. And Cold's still trying to explain, look, you get sidetracked easily. You're your own worst enemy, and I'm the one trying to steer you back into it. We're going to have a big score, and we're going to take Savage out and be the biggest, baddest guys on there. Mick doesn't care. He just wants what's in his hands and to watch the world burn, which is pretty friggin' frightening. And he's pretty much let him know that if you ever do that again, we're done. And leading up to what's going to be happening in the next week's episode, which I know, The Flash is on break for 3 weeks, Arrow's on a break, but Legend of Tomorrow will be back next week, so that's going to be awesome. Looks like this time we're going to be dealing with some, with a maroon space ship, as well as space pirates, and possibly Heatwave losing his crap. So, that's going to be some interesting stuff to watch. Like I said, I'm enjoying the show. It's definitely an experimental backstory I love to watch. And like I said, it could have easily been fixed had they just given Firestorm his full transmutation powers. In the comics, he can see molecules. He can actually see their interaction. And thanks to the brain power of Professor Stein, he can not only see them, but he can also change them into whatever he wants to because he has that background knowledge that Stein has. Why don't we see that yet? Come on! LOT, writers, stop nerfing Firestorm, please. On behalf of me and all the fans out there, stop nerfing him. It'll be cool, trust me. Anyway, hopefully we'll get to see that develop in the show later on. So what did you guys think? Please like, comment, subscribe, share, pass this bad boy around. And please stay tuned. My next video is going to be my new theory video on Zoom. We now know the who, but now I'm going to start asking questions like how and why. Check it out, guys. Until next time, Dave signing off. Peace. Yum, yum. Happy birthday to me.